What's up everybody, I'm BulletProofBrad. Today I wanted to check out a video that was just put out by Jackfrags. This video was kind of a year-end opinion on Battlefield 6 and how it's gone so far and maybe where it's going in the future. And he made a few good points, but he also talked about a lot of things I disagreed on. So I wanted to check that out with you today, give my thoughts, and then also invite you to drop your thoughts on either his opinions, my opinions, in the comments. Let's take a look at it, guys.
Today I'm going to play devil's advocate. While Battlefield 6 was the best-selling game of 2025 and they finally managed
That's
to beat
fantastic, by the
in
way.
a sales war, I feel like the long-term success of Battlefield 6 is currently not guaranteed. Personally, I'm still having a ton of fun playing the game, and Steam player numbers are pretty good for a Battlefield game compared to what we had in the past, but they have dropped off a cliff, losing roughly 80% of the launch player base on Steam. Yes, the game is available on other PC platforms too and console, but this signifies a trend. It's obvious that at the moment the game isn't really growing, it's not retaining players, and this will be very concerning for EA. This is pretty typical for Battlefield games and many others driven by live service, but that drop off in player count is real, cannot be ignored, and ultimately I feel like they could be doing much better with a few changes, and in my opinion, if they continue down their current trajectory, they're squandering big opportunities for this game and franchise. As a fan, I would love to see the game thrive in the future. So here's where I think they've gone wrong and what they could improve going forward in 2026, keeping it concise and blunt.
Okay, let's pause right there because I want to take a look at that chart again and talk a little bit about what I think about this. This is, he shows a chart here of the Steam player count.
They have dropped off a cliff.
I don't think this is a big issue. I think Battlefield 6 was massively hyped. They advertised it a lot. The beta did a lot of work for them. And I think it's pretty natural that you're going to see a huge burst in the beginning when the game comes out and the players are most excited to give it a try. And then eventually that's going to fall off. I think that's quite consistent for these kinds of games. I don't think it's fallen off a cliff. We can see here the 24-hour peak is 118,000. There are 104,000 playing, when he took this screenshot. And yeah, the all-time peak was probably in the first, few days at nearly 700,000, which is amazing by itself. But having over 100,000 players playing regularly, I don't think is a big problem. And I think this kind of trend where we have a big amount of players at the beginning and then it kind of falls down a little bit over time is pretty normal. Now, we might see a little peak here again after Christmas. Some players might get the game for Christmas. We might see a little renewal there. And I think there are still plenty of players coming and checking out Battlefield 6. I just played with a few recently that just got RedSec. It is free to play. And there's still lots of people checking it out for the first time. So I wouldn't say it's a big problem by any stretch, at least as big a problem as Jackfrags seems to make it out here. Let's continue on.
Is real, cannot be ignored, and ultimately I feel like they could be doing much better with a few changes, and in my opinion
they could make some changes. So let's see what he's thinking.
They're squandering big opportunities for this game and franchise. As a fan, I would love to see the game thrive in the future. So here's where I think they've gone wrong and what they could improve going forward.
So let's see what his main arguments are here.
Blunt. Here we go. Live service. The live service so far since launch has not delivered enough new content to keep the game feeling fresh for me. 2 new maps per season is not enough, and Battlefield Studios should be striving to deliver 3 or 4, as we've discussed many times previously. Why do we come back and play Battlefield? For me, I enjoy the gameplay of course, but for the most part I love to explore new maps. That's number 1. So I would love to see more new maps per season with different biomes and variety. Give me new types of environments to explore with new gameplay opportunities. New weapons, gadgets and vehicles is the number 2 reason that I come back and play. In Battlefield 6.
So I'm going to pause right here. This I agree with. I do think we need more maps. I do think we need more bigger maps. And it would be fantastic to see some more biomes, like he said, some more variety in terms of environments and things like that. I think that would really help a lot to keep the game fresh, especially in multiplayer, where it feels like there's only like 10 maps that you play regularly on Conquest, which just, in my opinion, isn't enough. And they do need to speed up, I think, the map production and release rate. And give them more variety.
Season 1, we got 3 new primary weapons, 2 secondary weapons, and a new transport vehicle.
Yeah, what happened to those
Great.
battle
I
pickups?
realized that it isn't a like-for-like comparison, but in Battlefield 3, the first DLC was Back to Karkand, and that released in December 2011, a month or so after launch. And in that we got 4 maps, 10 guns, and 4 vehicles. That's my expectation. BF6 live service in the future should focus on more new maps and toys, rather than new game modes and gimmicky events that are flash in the pan and people don't remember or stick around for. Generally, bigger maps than we currently have too would be nice. That's my preference.
Okay, so I think there should be more bigger maps. I agree on that. The game modes, I also agree, not that important. They probably do too many like limited time and weird game modes that split the player base that a lot of players don't even engage with. I feel like that's mostly a waste of time, and that's a niche that Portal can fill. They need to focus on getting out some new big maps.
Gameplay. I want more Sandbox back in Battlefield, and I feel that the current version of the game is lacking depth in many areas. Some examples: there's not much teamwork in the game. Vehicles are very basic. There's no customization at all on jets. There's no proximity chat in the game.
I don't know what he means about vehicles being basic or that there's no teamwork in the game. I don't get that point. I disagree with that. I think there's plenty of teamwork in the game, especially if you're mic'd up with your squad, and I don't feel like vehicles are basic. I agree there's no customization with the jets right now. That's kind of weird, but other than that, I think the vehicles feel pretty good.
Tech is there, and I would love to play a round of Conquest with proximity chat. Other games have adopted
Proximity
this
chat
option.
would be
It
great.
worked really well in BattleBit and opened up many new gameplay opportunities and communication there. BattleBit has got very similar gameplay to classic Battlefield 2. Arc Raiders is another great.
Pausing before our creators. Proximity chat would be great. It adds, like you said, a little depth. It adds some new gameplay, creative gameplay options. You can talk to these guys, talk smack, maybe get some info out of them. Especially this could be useful in RedSec. It also makes a lot of opportunities for a lot of viral clips that you can make, and funny clips, which helps to grow Battlefield as people see it and want to try it. So I really think they should bring in proximity chat. I think that would be huge.
Game that's come out recently that has proximity chat, and without it the game just wouldn't be anywhere near the same or anywhere near as engaging. Some other stuff.
Are you guys playing Arc Raiders? Let me know in the comments. Which do you prefer, BF6 or Arc Raiders?
Capture points. There's little narrative in the map design. Why are we fighting over this car park on Blackwell Fields? We used to have a cool commander role in the game in BF2 where we could have a big
commander
impact
mode
on the battle. It was interesting. BF6, I think, it just needs a bit more depth in the gameplay.
Commander mode would be amazing. I wish they would bring that back. That was a fan favorite where if you don't know, it was kind of like you weren't on the ground shooting. You were kind of just permanently in this like tablet view of the battlefield, and you could send like supplies, you could send vehicles down, you could drop airstrikes and all these kinds of things, and you could even play it without being at your computer. You could download the app and you could go into random games that don't have a commander yet and play it from a phone or a tablet, and you could have an influence on the game. And it was great, very popular. A lot of people really enjoyed the commander mode, and I don't think it would be that hard to bring back. I wish they would bring it back, just as like maybe a certain playlist with it. I don't know if it needs to be in every game, but at least try it and see what people think.
Server browser and Portal have been a disaster. This is one area where I constantly raise the question to myself, how did they get it so wrong with all of the feedback that they've had? And I always ask myself, why not both? Let me elaborate. In previous games, official quick play servers were also listed in the server browser. This was great for players as it gave them more choice, allowed them to guarantee playing on a specific map. It allowed them to skip the matchmaking queue times, allowed them to play with more than 4 people, and it allowed them to play on local low ping servers. Very importantly though, it created a behavior of players to use the server browser, meaning that communities had an opportunity to grow and community hosted servers could thrive. The matchmaking in Battlefield 6 kills any sense of community, and I think it's really sad to see that go, as that's one of the important ways that a game can hold on to players and expand.
I agree with this.
We don't have any official persistent servers either. I find it hard to swallow that Battlefield still haven't added official servers with official rule sets, which are persistent and rotate through all of the Conquest maps with 64 players. This was one of my favorite ways to play Battlefield games in the past, but now it's gone. Please add that option to the menu. It should have been there at launch.
Yeah,
Portal, as
I
expected,
would agree with what he said there. Seeing more opportunity for searching and browsing through custom game modes and things like that, I think they're really missing out. They need to expand on that, not decrease it.
it has sadly dissolved into bot farming XP servers. There's so many cool and amazing experiences created by
Yeah,
players
Portal.
already, but there's little to no visibility for them, and when you play on them, you get barely any XP. They've only just started to feature some experiences in the menu, but again, they have limited XP. The whole thing is a huge wasted opportunity, and I hope that the Portal team get to continue working on this project and that the bigwigs take it seriously, because the potential is huge and it's just being squandered and mismanaged again. I'd love to see Battlefield step up and officially host and promote Portal experiences that are unique and fun to play on, and give full XP to those. Be a bit more hands-on with it. The
Yep.
Portal servers also run at 30 tick rate too, and this means that they feel significantly worse for lag and hit reg compared to the 60Hz servers in the main multiplayer game. Another reason for people not to want to host or play on them. In the past, we could pay for high tick rate servers. I don't understand why that option went away, because surely that's an easy money maker for EA. A couple of big reasons that
I agree with that on Portal. Let's go back for a sec.
60Hz servers,
I agree 100%. Like it's something they need to do a lot better. The creativity, harness the creativity of the community. There's a lot of creative people out there, a lot of creative players, and exactly what he said. They need to do more hands-on stuff with this, in terms of promoting certain popular maps and modes that have been created, getting them on the front page, maybe even, like he said, hosting those modes on official servers. And it's not huge, but like having that normal 60 hertz tick rate on these would be great. And at least for the ones that they're hosting themselves permanently, like you said, getting full XP on those. They're modes that could easily be like vetted by the staff there before they get put on the front page. And if there's no opportunities for like abusing XP or anything like that, then just give them full XP. Let the players play and enjoy different modes, and harness that community. I think that's really important. And Portal has a lot of potential, and they could do so much more with it. And I think they will, and I hope they will.
past we could pay for high tick rate servers. I don't understand why that
Yeah,
option
let
went
people
away,
pay,
because
make some
surely
money too.
That's an easy money maker for EA. A couple
Absolutely.
of big reasons that there are so many XP farmers on Portal 2. For one, when the game launched, it had insane challenges to unlock basic class gear and guns, which was a big mistake. And for two, the basic weapon grind in the game is way too demanding for the average player. It isn't a realistic goal or achievement on multiple guns, in my opinion. In BF 2042, from memory, it was about 350 to 375 kills to get all of the attachments for your typical assault rifle, SMG, etc. And this felt good to me. BF6, it's closer to 1000 to 1200 kills. Here's a real example. I currently have 816 kills with my M4A1. That's my top weapon, and I'm only level 37 on it with more attachments to unlock. For me personally, I'd love to max out the weapon attachments much faster in BF6, and the grind would come after that with cool camo challenges. That's one of the best things that Call of Duty offers. Battlefield has never really had that. Perhaps they completely misunderstood the assignment here.
I would agree with this. I would like to see a little bit faster weapon progression. It doesn't need to be quite as fast as he suggested, but at least some middle ground between where it is and where it was in 2042. Maybe not 1,000 kills or 1,200 kills to max out a weapon, but maybe not like 400 either. Maybe something in that 600 to 800 range would be ideal. I think it's okay right now, but it is definitely a little on the slow side.
AI Slop, yes, it's here, guys. In the store, a couple of recent packs had AI generated artwork in them. This stuff costs money to buy. The Winchell pack here, for example, costs 900 Battlefield coins, and in it is a player card sticker called Winter Warning, and it's clearly an AI generated image that I can only assume wasn't checked by a
looks
single
AI.
human being. The M4A1 has got two barrels, one of them isn't centered, it has two dust covers, there's no trigger, and the scope isn't lined up with the soldier's eyes while aiming. It just looks like an AI generated image overall.
It does.
Not everyone is going to care about this, but in my opinion, this is a really bad look for the game, and the kind of thing that makes people change their Steam review from positive to negative, also hurting sentiment and goodwill overall in the gaming community. The options in
Okay, so for me personally, I don't care about this that much. I get it. It is low quality. I agree with all of that. But these are things like I don't really buy anything in the store. I haven't bought anything from the store yet. I do a few videos on store reviews just to get some info out there to you guys. I'll be doing more. So if you're interested in the kind of store reviews, please subscribe so you don't miss the next one. But overall, I don't really care that much about store bundles. And if there is some AI in there, don't really care because I don't think the skins and stuff, weapons or players look that great either in particular. So having some stickers that almost nobody will ever see be a bit crappy, not a big issue for me, but I get that it bothers some people.
The store so far have been very poor too.
Maybe just make the bundles cheaper.
That I've spent money on was this one here, the Lead the Way pack celebrating.
Yeah, this one was well done.
Ranger Association. Why did I buy it? Well, I think it looks cool and it's based off real uniform.
They need to do more of this. I would like to see, and I've been saying it for a while, they need to do more Spec Ops style skins and uniforms from around the world. I would love to see a Canadian Spec Ops like GTF2 or CSOR. I want to see some more Spec Ops from the US. I want to see some from Europe, from Asia. Like, there's so much opportunity to make them realistic, based on real ones, and have them look really good and really detailed. And I think that would really make a lot of players happy.
Make so much money for profit and to support the game with the live service if they did more of this stuff and they sold more soldier skins inspired by actual uniform.
Yeah,
if they want to make even more money, they could put classic skins in from previous
classic
games,
skins from previous games would be really good too.
These from Battlefield 3, these from Battlefield 4. You can even
people
throw in
would love them.
Nostalgic single player characters too, like Wrecker, Blackburn, Cole, Thema, for example.
Why not?
Put those kind of skins
those seem like easy W's.
Rather than AI generated images that are bad that no one's going to buy. The UI, the menu is awful. Way too much going on here, and the categories don't make sense. The titles don't make sense. The panels appear to move around as well. Please simplify this and add a search option to the options menu so I can search and favorite things. That would be nice.
I don't think the menu's that bad. I think it's blown out of proportion how bad it is. It is a little confusing at first, but I think once you've used it for a day, it's not that hard to get around. What I would like to see is at the top, have one of these panels just for your most played modes. Like if you're always going in and hitting Battle Royale quads and then Conquest, put those two right at the top. Like all of your most played modes should be right at the top, easy to access, because most people only engage with 2 or 3 different modes. So just have those as the top option. Maybe make them a little bigger. Maybe they stay up here underneath the text or above the current panel that you're looking at so you can always see them. I think that would be a big improvement.
To have Battlefield 6 has been trying to do too many things at once as well. Instead of delivering what players want, maps and toys, they've gone for this shotgun approach that hasn't worked. New game modes like Sabotage and Strike Point that Battlefield players don't want to play. Red Bull challenges.
Yeah, we talked about this already.
Cool, but only featured on one map, so not much replay value there with no vehicles at all.
I'm not going to be mad about limited time modes and promotions. Those are fun little challenges. They are what they are. I'm not going to complain too much. Again, we don't need a bunch of new game modes. What we want is definitely new maps.
Just didn't really feel very Battlefield. Temporary battle pickups, RedSec, their new battle royale mode.
What happened to the battle pickups?
The point is that
they just
ended up
removed
with
them.
a lot of stuff in the
Are
game
they coming back?
that just seems like filler, and it doesn't add any
hopefully
real
new and
depth or
improved
value to the product. It's not actually improving the game or the gameplay. So going forward, as a BF fan, I would like to see the team have a stronger focus on the core audience and pillars of Battlefield whenever they add new gameplay content. The vibe of the game has changed a bit too already after Season 1 in terms of the style and feel of it. In all of the trailers and gameplay from beta leading up to launch, BF6 looked and felt like a very grounded, immersive arcade FPS, which is highly sought after in today's market. I've spoken about this in depth previously, so I'm not going to dwell
What does it
on
feel
here,
like now?
Going forward, I think that they've got to be very careful with the skins that they add for soldiers, guns, the environments that we're playing and fighting in, the tech that we're using, the weapons. If they go too far in the fantasy direction, it will turn a lot of people off. They're going to stop playing, and it will end up looking like a completely different product than the attractive product that they originally sold to people.
Okay, I kind of agree with that. As long as they keep the skins on the right track, I don't think there's going to be a big problem with any of that, though, so I'm not too concerned about that kind of stuff.
RedSec is dead on arrival. I've always liked the idea of a modern day Frostbite engine battle royale game, but I think they've blown it. It clearly wasn't ready to launch at the end of October.
I don't agree with this. I don't think RedSec was dead on arrival at all. And I don't think saying that they've blown it is true either. I think RedSec is pretty good. I think it's pretty fun. I don't know what the big issue would be with RedSec. Let's kind of continue to hear what he says, and I want to talk about each point individually because I really disagree with this.
October, only 2.5 weeks after the main game, releasing it unfinished and 2 days before Arc Raiders.
I don't know, how is it unfinished? I wish he would give some specific details. I don't understand how he feels RedSec is not finished. Feels finished to me. And as for releasing it near Arc Raiders, I don't think anybody expected Arc Raiders to be this big, and Battlefield wanted to get this out the door quickly, which I can appreciate, so that players could play it and it could kind of keep the ball rolling in terms of main launch of Battlefield 6 and then 2 weeks later BR launch. Keeps the momentum, right?
Which they must have known was going to dominate the space for a couple of months, was a huge mistake too. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. And I feel like it could have been way better than what we actually got if they had more time with it. The current offering has not delivered on gameplay, map design, fun. It's got lag.
It hasn't delivered on gameplay, map design, or fun. I don't agree with any of those things. I think the gameplay on RedSec is pretty good. I think the fun is good. I think the map is pretty decent. I don't know what he means. I wish he would give a little specifics. Why is the gameplay not good? Why is it not fun? What is bad about the map?
30Hz servers, awful loot.
It would be great to have higher tick rate servers. I agree with that.
For free-to-play players. Honestly, at this point, I think the best thing that they could do is relaunch it at some point when it's actually feature complete and finished. And
what features is it missing? What was promised and not in there? I would like to have, like, he gives a lot of vague criticisms. I wish he could be a little bit more specific.
Like this on BF6 going forward, as I prefer to focus on new content and just the enjoyment of gaming, but every once in a while I like to get stuff off my chest, and I'm lucky enough to have an audience, you guys, and hopefully
totally
I can
fair
resonate with you.
Fair to make a video about it.
Speaking, I still think BF6 is a fantastic and fun game, and Battlefield is back. It's back on the map, no doubt. But saying that though, maybe they've made a few mistakes already. You know, not as perfect, but there's always opportunity to fix things, change direction.
Absolutely.
Whatever that might be. Thanks for your support. More videos coming soon. Drop me a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Make sure to check out Jackfrags if you don't already subscribe. He's a longtime Battlefield creator. I'm relatively new, so what do I know? But I wonder if you guys agree with some of the things I said. Do you more agree with Jackfrags? Do you more agree with me? You got some separate thoughts you want to drop? Let me know in the comments. I promise I read every comment and respond to most of them. Also, I've recently launched memberships on the channel, so if you'd like to support me and join the channel, that would be fantastic. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, drop a subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and stay locked, stay loaded, and stay frosty, guys. Peace.